The Galaxy Council was a place of power. A hall of steel, glass, and endless light. Hundreds of alien species gathered here to make laws, form alliances, and decide the fate of weaker worlds. On this day, the chamber was louder than ever. Because today, humanity stood on trial. The human envoy walked into the chamber. He was young compared to the elders of the stars, but his eyes carried something different. Not arrogance. Not fear. But fire. The aliens saw him and laughed. To them, humans were nothing. A small race from a small blue planet. Too emotional, too unstable, too weak for the galaxy. One alien leader rose from his throne. His voice echoed across the chamber. Humans are dangerous not because of strength, but because they cannot control themselves. They cry. They rage. They love too deeply. They are slaves to feelings. The crowd roared with laughter. Another alien joined in, sneering. Yes. They fight wars because of pride. They kill because of anger. They cling to family, to friendship, to love. What kind of species makes decisions with their hearts instead of logic? The laughter grew louder. It was cruel, sharp, and filled with mockery. They pointed at the human envoy as if he were a child standing among gods. One alien struck the table with his claws. I say we ban humans from every council, every alliance, every trade. Let them stay on their tiny world and cry into the night. Emotions have no place among the stars. The chamber erupted in cheers. The vote was made. The decision was final. Humanity was rejected. The envoy did not speak. Not once. Not when they insulted his people. Not when they mocked the tears of human mothers. Not when they laughed about human love and human grief. He only stood there. Silent. Unmoving. Watching. But his eyes burned like two suns hidden behind stone. Eyes that promised something the council could not see. The aliens thought the meeting was over. They thought they had silenced humanity forever. But in truth, the meeting had just begun. Because Earth had already prepared something the galaxy was not ready for. A final warning. A last promise to those who mocked human emotions. Far away, beyond the stars, on the blue planet called Earth. Humanity was not laughing. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was preparing. In secret factories hidden beneath mountains, weapons were being built. Ships, black as night, slept beneath the oceans. Engines that could burn through worlds were waiting in silence. And behind every machine, behind every weapon, there was emotion. The grief of a mother who lost her child in alien wars. The anger of a father who watched his city burn. The hope of children who dreamed of freedom among the stars. Every tear became steel. Every heartbreak became fire. Every loss became a weapon. The aliens believed emotions made humans weak. They did not understand. Emotions were humanity's greatest strength. And now, that strength was ready to explode. Back in the council chamber, the human envoy finally moved. He stepped forward, his footsteps echoing like thunder. For the first time, he spoke. His voice was calm. But it carried through the entire hall. You call us weak because we feel. You call us dangerous because we care. You think love, anger, and grief are weaknesses. But you are wrong. The chamber fell silent. Every alien leaned closer. The envoy's eyes narrowed. Remember this day. Remember your laughter. Because the emotions you mock will be the fire that burns your empires. This is not a threat. This is a warning. The last warning you will ever receive from Earth. The words struck like lightning. The silence that followed was heavy, sharp, terrifying. Even the proudest alien leaders felt a chill in their bones. But then, they laughed again. They called it bravado. They called it the cry of a desperate, weak race. They never realized. The warning was real. Earth had already decided. Humanity would no longer beg for respect. They would take it. Not with cold logic. Not with empty politics. But with the one thing no alien could understand. The fury of human emotion. The envoy turned and walked away. The chamber lights glowed red as the doors closed behind him. The council thought they had won. They thought they had silenced humanity forever. But they were wrong. Because even now, across the stars, human fleets were rising. Even now, soldiers were sharpening blades, charging rifles, and whispering promises of vengeance. Even now, the galaxy's future was burning in silence. The envoy's final words echoed like a storm through the halls of the council. You mocked our tears. You mocked our anger. You mocked our love. But remember this, those same emotions will destroy you. And when the chamber lights dimmed, every alien leader felt something they had never felt before. Fear. The Galaxy thought the matter was closed. Power. Humans had been mocked, insulted, and endless banned from the Great Council. Hundreds of alien species gathered here returned to their thrones, form alliances, and decide that their emotional species would never rise again. The chamber was louder than their shining halls, because today, under shadows, humanity stood on trial. Earth was awake. The human envoy walked into the chamber. Earth looked quiet. He was young compared to the elders of the stars, soft light, but his eyes children played in the streets, not arrogance. The oceans reflected the stars. But to any outsider, the aliens saw him and laughed, perhaps to them, defeated. Humans were nothing. But beneath that calm, a small race from a small blue planet, deep under the mountains, too emotional, secret factories roared, too weak for the galaxy. Screamed as they were forged. One alien leader rose Black from steel his throne. Was poured into the shapes of warships, echoed across the chamber. Hulls sharp like humans are dangerous not because in hidden of bunkers, but because they cannot control themselves. Their eyes were red, not from weakness, they loved from determination. They are every formula, to feelings, every design, the crowd every roared with laughter, carried a piece another of pain alien joined in. One scientist whispered as he tested a new engine because of pride. They call us too emotional because of anger. Then let our emotions be the fuel that to friendship, to love. The aliens believed what kind of species makes decisions with their hearts instead of logic. Humans had something deeper. It was a soldier who lost his brother and filled with mockery. With more fire they pointed at the human envoy as if he were a saw her child among gods would never stop one fighting. Alien struck even the table with his claws. A people who loved their home would defend it from until the last breath. Every alliance, this was humanity's secret. Let them stay on their tiny world and cry into the night. Emotions have no place among the stars. The galaxy moved on, erupted in humans had accepted their humiliation. The decision was final. Every day humanity was rejected. Hidden envoys were built beneath oceans. Not once. Submerged shipyards when they created vessels so large not when they mocked the tears of human mothers. When the day came, when they laughed those about ships human would rise like monsters from the deep. He only stood against there, the stars, silent. Armies were trained in secret, watching, not in open his eyes, but in underground cities burned like where millions of humans prepared for battle. Eyes that they learned something the council could not see. They learned the aliens thought the meeting was over, but more than that, they thought they had silenced humanity forever. Every soldier carried a story. The meeting had just begun. Some carried grief because Earth had already carried anger. Something the galaxy was not ready for. But all of them carried emotion. A last promise to those was heavier than any weapon. Far away, in a dark chamber beneath on the blue planet called Earth, the leaders of humanity was not laughing. They sat around a circular table. Was not weak. The air was heavy with tension, preparing, but also in with secret fire. Factories. An old general spoke first. Weapons were being built. His voice was rough, scarred by years of war. Night. They mock beneath because of our emotions. Engines that could burn not understand were waiting in silence make us. And behind every machine makes us fearless. Behind every weapon, our love makes us unbreakable. The grief of a mother makes us unstoppable in alien wars. Another leader leaned forward. The anger of a father then who watched his city burn. We use everything they mocked us for. Who dreamed of freedom. And when the time comes, they will understand what it means to face humanity. Every heartbreak became fire. Fell silent. Every loss everyone knew what that meant. The aliens believed emotions made humans weak. Earth had chosen its path. They did not understand. And the galaxy had no idea what humanity's greatest strength. The world continued its strength was ready to explode. Children played. Back in the council chamber, families the human smiled. Envoy finally moved. But deep inside, forward, every his human footsteps knew. Echoing the like day thunder. Would come when the stars themselves would shake with their fury. His voice was calm, far across the galaxy. Through the entire hall began to spread. You call us weak strange because we feel near the edge of you call us dangerous because we care. Disappearing patrols. You think love, colonies anger, that refuse and grief alien control. But you some are alien wrong. Captains the chamber to their commanders. Every aliens are changing closer. They do not look broken. Eyes narrowed. They look remember dangerous. This day. But remember your laughter again. Because the emotions you mock will be the fire that burns your empires. They are weak. This is not nothing more. This is a warning. The signs. The last warning you will ever receive from Earth. They ignored the storm. Words struck like lightning. In the heart of Earth's command, the silence the that envoy who once stood in the council chamber returned home. Even the proudest alien leaders felt a chill in their watching bones, fleets being prepared. Then, they laughed again. His eyes were the same they burning, called it bravado, silent, filled they called with fire. It the cry of a young soldier saluted him and asked, they never realized, Sir, when will the galaxy was real? The envoy had already looked at the dark ships waiting Humanity in the docks. Would no longer His answer was cold, calm, they would and sharp like a blade. Not with when cold logic again, not when with they touch politics, one more human world, but with the one thing no alien could understand. The galaxy, the fury of human emotion. Weakness. The envoy turned and walked away. They were the sharpest weapon chamber lights glowed red forged. As the doors closed and when the time came, the council thought they had just fight. They thought they had silenced humanity. They would shatter the stars themselves. But they were wrong. Because even now, across the stars, human fleets were rising. Even now, soldiers were sharpening blades, charging rifles, and whispering promises of vengeance. Even now, the galaxy's future was burning in silence. The envoy's final words echoed like a storm through the halls of the council. You mocked our tears. You mocked our anger. You mocked our love. But remember this, those same emotions will destroy you. And when the chamber lights dimmed, every alien leader felt something they had never felt before. Fear. The Battle of Haven changed everything. For the first time in history, an alien empire had been broken by humans. For the first time, the galaxy saw what emotions could do. But instead of listening, the council laughed again. When reports of the battle reached the Great Chamber, alien leaders shouted in anger. This is a trick. Humans could not have destroyed an entire fleet. They must have had outside help. No small race can fight like that. It is impossible. But the evidence was clear. Wreckage of alien ships floated in space. Thousands of soldiers lay dead on Haven's soil. And across the galaxy, whispers grew louder. Humans are not weak. Humans are dangerous. The council gathered again. This time, the human envoy was not there. He had spoken his warning once, and Earth had no reason to repeat it. Still, his words echoed in every mind. Remember your laughter. Remember your mockery. It will burn you. Some alien rulers trembled at those words. They argued for peace. Leave the humans alone, they said. Do not test them again. They are not like us. Their strength is not logic, it is something far more dangerous. But others ignored the warning. They were blinded by pride. They are still just humans. They won once. Nothing more. We will crush them, and then the galaxy will forget Haven. And so, the vote was cast. The decision was made. The council would not seek peace. The council would strike back. Meanwhile, far away on Earth, humanity was preparing its message. It was not a plea. It was not a request. It was a final warning. In the command halls deep under Earth, the envoy stood before the leaders of humanity. He carried a single tablet, glowing with words that would shake the stars. This is not for their mercy, he said. This is not for their respect. This is for their fear. They must understand what is coming. The leaders agreed. And the message was sent. Across the galaxy, screens flickered. In council chambers, military bases, and even on the bridges of starships, the same broadcast appeared. The human envoy stood tall, his face hard, his voice calm. We are humanity. You mocked our tears. You mocked our anger. You mocked our love. You thought emotions made us weak. The chamber filled with silence. Every alien leaned forward. The envoy's eyes burned. You were wrong. Emotions are not weakness. They are strength. They are fire. They are war. He raised a hand, pointing straight at the camera. This is Earth's final warning. Do not touch another human world. Do not mock us again. If you do, the fury of our emotions will not stop until your stars are ashes. And then the screen went black. The message spread like wildfire. Some alien worlds trembled. Some prepared for defense. But the council ignored it. They called it arrogance. They called it madness. They called it the desperate words of a dying species. And so, they laughed again. But deep inside, not all of them were laughing. A few alien commanders had seen Haven. They had seen human soldiers fight until death with fire in their eyes. They had seen mothers with rifles, fathers with blades, and children with grenades. They had seen emotions turn into war. And those commanders were afraid. Back on Earth, the envoy stood watching the stars. A young officer approached him. "Sir, what if they don't listen? What if they ignore the warning?" The envoy's voice was cold. "They will ignore it. They always do. But when they do, we will not warn them again." The officer swallowed hard. "Then, what will we do?" The envoy's eyes narrowed, glowing with quiet fire. "Then we will show them what emotions can destroy." The galaxy had been warned. The final chance for peace was given. But pride is a dangerous thing. The council did not see the storm. They did not hear the thunder. They did not feel the fire building on Earth. They laughed at humanity's warning. They mocked the fury of emotions. And in doing so, they sealed their fate. Because soon, the galaxy would burn. The galaxy had been changed everything. Earth's message for the first time in history, but pride is louder than wisdom. Had been broken by humans. The alien council for the first time, the galaxy saw what emotions could do. Humanity was unleashed. But instead of listening, it began with silence again. Alien reports of the battle reached the great chamber, ready to crush any resistance. Shouted in anger. Commanders laughed. This is a trick. Confident humans could not have destroyed an entire fleet. But when they reached the edge of human space, help. They saw no small race can fight like that. Empty stars. It is impossible. But the evidence was clear. They thought humanity was hiding. Ships floated in space. They thought humanity was afraid. Thousands of soldiers lay dead on haven soil. And across the galaxy, black ships grew louder. Hundreds humans at first are not weak. Then thousands. Humans are dangerous. Their hulls were sharp. The council gathered again. The space around them. This time, their engine envoy was with white fire. He had spoken. The galaxy had never seen ships like these. Earth had no reason to repeat it. They were not made for defense. Still, his words echoed in every mind. The first alien commander whispered in fear. Remember your mockery. By the stars. It will burn you. What are these? Some alien rulers trembled at those words. The battle was chaos. For peace. Human weapons the humans alone through the void. Alien ships exploded in brilliant flashes. They are not like us. One after another. Their strength is not logic. The invaders tried to form lines, far more dangerous. But the humans did not fight others with ignored the warning. They were blinded by pride. They fought with still grief. Just humans. They fought with love. Won once. Every human pilot carried a story. We will crush them. A lost brother. The galaxy will forget murdered child. And a burned city. The vote was cast. And every memory became a weapon. Was made. One alien ship would not to retreat. The council frigate followed it relentlessly. Meanwhile, even as its hull cracked and burned, humanity was preparing its message. The pilot's voice came through the comms. It was not a plea. You killed my family. It was not a request. I'll follow you to hell itself. It was a final warning. Moments later, the command halls deep under exploded together. The envoy stood before the leaders could not understand this kind of war. He carried a single tablet. Why would someone fight with knowing they would shake the stars? Why would someone sacrifice everything just to take one enemy with them? This is not for their respect. Because they did not understand emotions. This is for their fear. Across the battlefield, what is human coming. Soldiers boarded alien vessels, and the message with knives, with rifles, across the galaxy, with bare hands. Screens flickered. They screamed in council chambers, but with military bases. Every strike on the bridges of starships, every shot carried memory. The one alien captain stared into the eyes of a human soldier before falling to the blade. We are humanity. Those eyes were not cold like machines. You mocked our anger. They were burning with fire. You mocked our love. Unstoppable fire. You thought emotions made us weak. The alien fleet was no more. Every alien leaned forward, burning the envoy's eyes burned. Where once there was laughter, wrong. There was emotions are not weakness, but humanity did not stop. They are fire. The fleets pushed deeper into alien space. He raised a hand, world after world, at the camera. System after system. This is Earth's final warning. Do not touch another human world. Not as rulers. Do not mock us again. But as avengers. If you do, each strike was a message. Our emotions will not stop until your stars was a reminder. And then the burning world whispered the same truth. The message spread like wildfire. This is the price of your mockery. Some alien worlds trembled. The command halls glowed with maps of fire. But the envoy stood at the center, the council ignored it as the humans advanced. They called it arrogance. Reports came in from every front. They called it the desperate words of a dying species. Another stronghold broken. They laughed again. Another empire burning. But deep inside, a young officer turned to the envoy. A few alien commanders had seen in shock. They had seen human soldiers fight until the envoy's voice was calm, cold. They had seen mothers with emotions were weakness, fathers with blades. Now they will learn emotions are war. They had seen emotions began to tremble, and those commanders faster than ships. Back on Earth, humans are not fighting like watching the stars. They don't care. A young officer survival. Approached him. They care only about vengeance. What if they don't listen? Alien rulers. What if they ignore the warning? Armies fortified their planets. They will ignore it. No wall could stop humanity's fury. Because
when
this
they
was
do,
not just
we will
war.
not warn them again.
This was justice
The
written in
officer
fire.
swallowed hard.
One alien
Then,
council
what
member
will we
begged
do?
his peers.
The envoy's
Stop
eyes
this
narrowed,
madness,
glowing with
make
quiet
peace.
fire.
Send
Then
envoys
we will show
before
them
it is
what
too
emotions
late.
can destroy.
But the others shook
The
their
galaxy
heads.
had been warned.
They were too proud.
The final chance
Too
for
blind.
peace was given.
Too afraid
But
to
pride
admit
is a
they were
dangerous
wrong.
thing.
And so,
the council
they
did
not
nothing.
see the storm.
And the fire
They did
spread
not
further.
hear the thunder.
For the first
They
time
did
in
not
galactic
feel the
history,
fire building
the
on
stars
Earth.
themselves
They
seemed to
laughed
burn
at
with
humanity's
human rage.
warning.
Every
They
fleet
mocked the
that
fury
rose
of
against
emotions.
Earth was crushed.
And in doing so,
every army
they
that
sealed their
challenged
fate.
humanity was
Because
buried.
soon,
The galaxy
would
had
burn.
mocked human tears. Now it drowned in them. And through it all, the envoy's words echoed across every battlefield. You called us weak because we feel. But it is those feelings that will destroy you. The fury of humanity had begun. And it would not stop until the galaxy itself remembered. Never to laugh at human emotions again. The galaxy of humanity spread like wildfire. For the first time
one
in
battle
history,
turned
pride
into
is
an
louder
empire.
than
10
wisdom
battles
broken by
turned
alien
into a
council.
hundred.
For the first
And
time,
soon,
the galaxy
entire
saw
empires
what
began
the
to
fury of
fall.
humanity
At
was
first,
unleashed. Instead of
the
listening,
galaxy
began
thought
silence
was an
again.
accident.
Alien
When
fleets
reports
then
of the
thought
battle
human
first
alien
alien
fleets
chambers
ready to
destroyed
crush
alien
leaders
leaders
shouted
but
in
when the
anger.
third,
Commanders
this is
laughed,
a trick.
and confidence
Humans
vanished.
could not have
destroyed
an
an
entire
entire
fleet.
But when
The
they
galaxy
must have
had
mocked
emotions.
emotions,
Help.
they saw
Now
no
those
small
small
race
race
can
can
fight
fight
like
tearing
stars.
civilizations
It is
apart.
impossible.
The
But the
Empire
evidence was clear.
They
They
thought
thought
wreckage of alien
ships floated in space.
humanity was
They had
afraid.
called soldiers
crying
and
animals.
dead on
The
Haven
darkness
But when
moved.
human fleets
And
from
across
the
the
void
galaxy,
black
with
ships
their
and
arrogance
louder.
turned to
Hundreds
ash.
humans are
The
not
skies
weak.
above
Then
their
humans
capital
are
world
dangerous.
burned
Their
red.
hulls were
The
sharp.
council
gathered
gathered
again
surrounded the planet.
This time,
Raining
their
the
engines
Empire
burned
was
with
not
white
there.
fire.
The
Xerath soldiers had never seen ships
but
that
their
had no
leaders
reason
soon
realized they were not
truth.
made for defense.
Still,
Humans did
his
not
words
like
echoed
blood in
vengeance.
every mind.
They fought with
remember
alien
your
commander,
laughter. Every
whispered
attack
remember
your mockery.
by the stars.
Every
It will
strike
burn you.
carried the weight of
Some
centuries of
human
mockery.
fleet
Trembled
in
under
less than a
words.
week.
The battle
Xerath
of
Empire
Empire
was
was
no
no
more.
more.
Human
Leave
weapons
the humans
screamed
alone
through
through
the
the
void.
dominion.
Do
Alien
not
ships
let them
exploded
again.
in
They are
brilliant
not
flashes.
like us.
One
Their
after
generals
another
had
is
fought
not
in
logic.
centuries
Tried to
to
something
form
far
fleet.
more dangerous.
But they had
Humans
never
did not
faced
others
soldiers
called
with
logic
warning.
with their heart.
They
were
fought
blind
with
in the
fury.
battle of
They
Rax's
fought
pride.
with greed.
The Tavari launched everything
they
they
had.
had. Every
Millions
human
of
pilot
soldiers.
carried a
We will
story.
crush
Thousands
them.
of
A lost
lost then the
brother.
galaxy will
Their
forget
murdered
its
child.
pride.
And
A
so
burned
humans
city
did not
was
retreat.
cast. Every memory
They
became
did
a
not
surrender.
surrender.
One
The
alien
council
ship
would not
tried
see
wave
retreat.
after wave.
The
The burning
frigate
frigate
strike
followed
back.
it relentlessly.
The Tavari
Meanwhile,
broke.
even as its
Far
their
away
proud
on Earth,
armies
collapsed.
humanity
The
was
pilot's
preparing
voice
its
came
message
through the
peace.
comms,
It was
but
not a
Earth
plea
gave no
killed my
answer.
family.
It was not a
the
request.
Dominion
Follow
was a
you
ray
to
has a
heaven's
final
stars.
warning. Moments
Fear
later,
spread
across
both
the
ships
galaxy
exploded together.
World
The
after
envoys
world,
the
aliens
whispers
could
could
not
say
understand
words.
this kind
They
of
carried
war.
a single
Why would someone
glowing
fight
with
when
cannot
they
be
would
died
with
with.
stars?
Why would
Their
someone
emotions not
sacrifice
make them
everything
anything just to take
but
one
the
enemy
truth
with
is
them?
not for their
because
respect.
they did
Humans
not
were not
understand
this is for their
emotions.
fear.
They were
Across
exactly
the
what the
battlefield,
council had
human
coming.
soldiers
The
boarded
leaders
alien
were
vessels.
fathers, and
Mothers
mothers
fought with
knives, with
sisters
across the galaxy.
and
when
their
those
hands
screens
were
were broken,
broken.
they screamed
There
not
was no
council
fear,
chambers,
but
but
with
military
rage.
bases.
In the great
Every
council
strike
chamber
carried
of meaning.
silence replaced
Every
laughter.
sword carried
The
memory.
same rulers,
The
one
human
alien
envoy
captain
humans
stared
now
into
tremble.
the eyes of a
Reports
human soldier
flooded
flooded
in
in
falling to the
We are
blade.
another
Humanity
empire
had
destroyed.
destroyed.
Mocked our tears.
Another
Another
fleet
you mocked
gone.
our
They were
anger.
burning
Another
with
world
fire.
mocked our love.
Unstoppable
You fought
cried out.
emotions made
Ours
us
we
heart.
must stop this.
The
alien
chamber
filled
filled
with
with no
silence.
mercy before
Every
it
alien
floated in
leaned
space.
forward,
But others
burning
remained
silently.
silently. Eyes burned.
They
Where
cannot
once there
defeat
was
us.
laughter, there was
Emotions
humanity
are
is
not
not
weakness.
But
They will
humanity
tire.
did not
Their
stop.
fury
They are
cannot
fire.
last forever.
They are war.
Into
But they were
aliens'
raised a
race.
hand
Because
world
emotions
after
do
world,
not
the
tire.
system after
This
system
is Earth's
final
final
warning.
advance.
Anger
Do
does
not
not
as
as another
conquerors.
human
Love
love
does
not
not
as
end.
do not mock us
These
again.
are the
But
weapons
weapons
of
if you do,
humanity.
each strike
The
was
fury
of
of
our
emotions
emotions
will
will
not
not
destroy
destroy
your
your
stars
stars
are
on the
reminder.
battlefield.
And
Each
then
burning
began
world
to break
whispered
with
the
the
same
single
message
shot
was
was
spread
fired
like
like
wildfire.
the price of your
Entire
mockery.
fleets some
Surrender.
alien
Back
world
Earth
trembled.
The command halls glowed with
for
defense.
Soldiers dropped
but
their
their
weapons
envoys
stood at the sight of
the
human
council,
eyes,
watching
burning with
humans
fire. They called it arrogance.
Reports came
They
in.
called it
Every
madness.
had never seen
They
such
called it
fear.
alien
Desperate
fleet
words
words
of a
of
dying species.
Another
stronghold
broken,
but
they laughed
another
again.
empire
Back on
deep
Earth,
inside.
a young
officer
officer
turned
turned
to the envoy.
stars.
A few
Sir,
alien
one of the
commanders
galaxy's
had seen shock.
They had seen
empires
soldiers
collapsing one
until the
after
envoy's
another.
voice was
Soon,
calm.
they had seen mothers
thought
with
emotions were
the
fathers
envoy's
with
face
blades.
was
Now
calm,
they
and
will
children
learn
his
emotions
voice was
are
heavy.
war.
They had
This
seen
galaxy
never
began
began
to
to
tremble.
war.
This
And
those
those
commanders
were
were
ruling
ruling
the
ships.
galaxy.
Back
The
on
humans
Earth,
just
the
not
envoy
fighting
stood
like they
watching
mocked
the stars.
what made
They
us
don't
human
care
young
about
officers
survival.
now they will
approached
see
him.
what
They care
humanity
only
truly
about
engines.
what if they don't
The
listen?
officer
Alien
hesitated.
what if they ignored the
But
warning?
sir, armies
identified
their
cold.
envoys' eyes
But
no
ignore
wall
it.
could
When
stop
the
humanity
galaxy
remembers never to
because this was not just war.
This was
just
the
spread
Otter
in the
swallowed
fire.
hard.
The Dravik alliance,
council
the
member
Keller
his peers.
the
envoys'
stopped
eyes
all
fell
glowing
within
make
quiet
peace.
fire.
Entire
Send
civilizations
show them
crumbled.
what
Their
emotions
proud
can
leaders
destroy.
the others
Down
the
their
galaxy
heads.
had been warned.
They were too proud.
The galaxy
too
blind
filled with laughter
too
at
afraid
humanity
to admit
is a
was
dangerous
filled
thing.
with silence.
And so
The council
they
did not see the storm
and the
war.
fire.
They did not
silence
thunder.
For the first
They
time
did
in
not
galactic
laugh.
history,
Even the
building
strongest
on
empires
they
laughed
laughed
at
at
humanity's
humanity's
warning.
eternal.
Every
They
fleet
mocked
that
the
rose
rose
against
against
Earth
What
was
if humanity
crushed. And in doing so,
every army
they
that
challenged
challenged
humanity
would
would
burn until
the galaxy
had
had
mocked human
The galaxy
tears.
trembled.
Now it drowned
The stars
in them,
themselves
and
seemed
through it
to
all,
flicker with
the
human
envoy's
fire.
words echoed
And one
across
truth
every
became
battlefield.
clear.
You
The
called us
empires
weak
were not
because
only
we
losing
feel,
their fleets,
but it is those
they were
feelings
losing
that
their
will
courage.
destroy you.
They were
The
losing
fury
their
of
will.
humanity had
They were
begun,
shattering,
and it
piece
would
by
not stop
piece.
until the
The
galaxy
itself
had
remembered
mocked human emotions,
never to laugh at
now
human
those same
emotions
emotions
again.
had broken entire empires. And still, humanity was not finished.
The
galaxy
galaxy
had
changed
was
spread
like
like
wildfire.
wildfire.
For the first time,
one
battle
battle
turned
turned
into
into
louder
empire.
the
The
laughter
land
broke out
battle
turning
turned
into
into
encounter
arrogance
for the
for
first
the
time.
morning.
The
The
galaxy
galaxy
saw
saw
what
the
emotions
fury
of
of
humanity
only
was
whispered.
instead of
The
listening.
galaxy
The
long
long
table
table
of
of
command
accident
stretched
alien
wide.
then they
The
thought
battlefields
were
were
ready.
ready.
Chambers
Ready
those
to
alien
fight.
leaders
Gone.
shouted
But
in
when the
anger.
commanders
This
laughed,
is your trick.
their
Their
banners had been
not
torn
to
down.
destroy
No one
an
laughed
entire
their
fleet.
world.
But
when
the
they
galaxy
must
had
their
mocked
leaders
emotions
silenced
forever.
They saw
Now
those
those
raging
raging
empty
empty
stars.
civilizations
It is impossible.
regions.
The
Near
empires
was
nervous.
They thought humanity
They had mocked humanity.
They thought humanity was
thousands of
arrogant,
souls
but
crying
their
out
dead
the
doubt.
darkness
But when
was
human
shaking.
fleet
And
from
across
the
the
void,
galaxy,
Dravari
with their
silence
arrogance
grew
louder.
louder.
Hundreds
Hundreds
of
humans are not
victories
above
above
their
humans
humans
were
were
dangerous.
their armor
The
dull.
council
His eyes
gathered
gathered
again.
around
The
the
chambers
chambers no longer
their
their
engines
engines
burned
burned
with
with
white
white
flame.
smelled
The
of fear.
the galaxy
As
had
yet
never
never
seen
seen
such
their
a
leaders.
no reason
We
realized
were not
that.
made for defense.
Humans
Humans
did not
work.
make
Humanity
every
will
mind.
destroy
They
us all.
fought. Remember
Alien
your
commander
laughter,
every
every
attack.
remember
His
your
eyes
mockery,
cried the
every
stars
strike.
burning.
What carried the weight
And
of
what
some
shall we
alien
do?
human
Mockery
fleet
trembled
fight in
under
less than a
fire.
week?
You have
The
seen
battle
what
of
chaos
chaos
was no more.
Fleeing with
Humans
next
alone
armies
to
of
destroy
red.
dominion.
Alien
Entire
ships
empires
collapsed.
collapsed.
They are not
Humanity
humanity
does
their
not
general
fail.
strength
Is
fought
not
the
the
high
centuries
lord
tried to
slammed
undermine
far
far
more
more
dangerous.
dangerous.
They had
Humans
never
did not
faced
fight
others
with
called
logic.
logic.
They
They
fought
fought
blind
in the
fury.
battle of
They are not
soldiers.
soldiers.
The
They are
Tavari
fighters.
fought
Every
his
word
words
echoed in
every
the
chamber.
nothing more.
No one
disagreed.
thousands of
For
lost
the first
galaxy
time in
their
galactic
entire
history,
pride.
the council
A
trembled
human
did
city
not
retreat.
retreat.
Every memory
They did not
became a
They
remade.
called
One
themselves
alien
alien
ship
ship
would
would
not
try
to wave
wave
after
after wave.
They
The
burning
council
frigate
figures
followed
relentlessly.
it
The
relentlessly.
Tavari
Now
those
even as
emotions
their
were
proud
burning
armies
the
humanity
The
was
pilot's
preparing
voice
to
silence
silence
hung heavy.
It was not a
They
plea.
killed my
It was
family.
not a
The
request.
Dominion
Humanity
was
was
no
no
longer
longer
a rising
moments
power.
later
Spread across
humanity
the galaxy
was
urged
urged
together.
world after
The
world.
aliens
Aliens
could
could
not
not
understand
understand
this
this
kind
They
of
carried
war.
a single
Then why would someone
fight
fight
they
when
cannot
cannot
destroy
want to destroy
Why would their
everything?
emotions
Not
make
their
their
mercy
goals?
just to take
If
one
we
enemy.
could,
This
this
is
is
not
not
for their
perhaps
respect.
they did
will
not understand
This is
the
before he
fear.
could
They were
finish.
across the
chamber
chambers
the
of
council
human
had
human
coming.
soldiers.
Every
The
ruler
leaders
they
were
were
vessels.
fathers.
A
Among
single
they fought
human
with
rise
might. The chamber
with across the
tall,
galaxy.
and
When
their
those
screens
were
were
silent,
they screamed
there
in
was
not
no
with the
envoy,
envoy,
but with
military
the same
bases.
man,
Every
one
strike
strike
bridges
carried
form
silence
while the
with
galaxy
every
laughter
shot
carried
the
menace.
same rulers
The
who
one
made
heard
their
their
human
mockery
stared
from
into
the
his
eyes of a
heart
human
with no
soldier
blooded
down.
in daily
The
entire
entire
galaxy
and
those
empire
eyes
destroyed.
not the
Whole
human
another
machine.
walked
You mocked
slowly.
our
There
anger.
was another
The
world
chamber
mocked our love.
unstoppable
Unstoppable
fire
emotions
one
made
made
us.
us
We
laugh.
must stop
His
this.
eyes
The
were
chamber
not
filled
filled
with
with
no
silence.
mercy before
Not
every
with joy,
alien in
but
space.
with something
Burning
far more
terrifying.
They
Where
cannot
once there was
defeat
the
us.
High Lord,
There was
emotions
emotions
are
are
not
not
weakness.
courage.
But
They will
humanity
die.
did
You
not
have
stop.
destroyed
They
our
cannot
fleets
last
pushed
forever.
they
They
are
have
worn
burned
to
to aliens
he raised a hand because emotions do not become system after system. Does not find it advance. Anger does not touch envoys. Love does not hand. Do not mock us. Love are the weapons of humanity. Strike made us emotions will not stop emotional stars on the battlefield. And now learning well to grasp of the very message was spread like wildfire. Some alien world trembled. The command on some globe humanity soldiers dropped their weapons stood at the center. If you watching burning with nothing remain arrogant. Reports came in that man had never seen such alien desperate words for the envoys another strong and cold, but they love humanity does not deep inside. A young lot of humanity wants to be respected. One of the galaxies wants the galaxy to remember they can't believe what's collapsing until the envoy's voice was strength. They had seen against emotions. The envoy's face was calm. They will learn emotions was war. They had
This galaxy began. Then tell us what you demand. Those never tell us what must be done. Back on Earth, John the envoys stood. The envoys that made us see the young officer. Now they will see what humanity truly is. What if they don't wish us? What if they ignore the warning? Remember, when the voice you will remember every laughter. When the galaxy remembers, never because this was not just humanity was justice. The otter swallowed hard. The dragon ate broken. The Keller needed to be tested. The envoys eyes narrow, glowing like fire. Entire civilization what emotion leaders. The galaxy had been warned. They were too proud. The galaxy single leader dead too afraid. Not as a dangerous voice. The council did not for the first time the fire. They did not silence the mighty for the first time. They did not cast with fire. Even the strongest empire. The envoys those who humanity echoing as every moment that rose behind him. What is humanity and endurance? Every army that challenged humanity was burn until the galaxy had mocked human galaxy trembled. Now it drowned themselves and threw it to flicker with the envoys' words and one truth. The envoy looked at them and the elders were not only losing their fleet, but it is those they were losing that will still remember. They were losing their humanity had shattering, and it was the galaxy until the galaxy had mocked human emotions. Now those same emotions had broken entire empires. And still, humanity was not finished. The galaxy was imagined was spread across the galaxy. One battle turned louder. The land battle turned humanity now the first time. Trembling entire earth was emotions for humanity. Instead of the galaxy humanity was stretching wide. Then they thought Earth the sky those empires were gone. But when destroyed by the void, their banners could not turn down. No one loved their cities, but when the galaxy billions now those raging entire civilization. Island regions evidence was nervous. They taught humanity had ever humanity. Thousands of so crying dead by dash. But when humans they were from the galaxy, their arrows loud. Hundreds and now the skies above their cannons were danger. Their armor was the counter around the chambers no longer their engine embers in white smell. The Zirath galaxy had never seen ship every world, every empire. Still, they do not work. They fought. Remember his right with every what hurried the way somehow we understood and tried in less than a week. You have the same man now human with next army dominion. Alien ships appeared on the screen. They unlocked humanity while their general strength had ideas tried to safeguard but his word they had never faced the aliens of the galaxy. They were blinded to humanity. They were so still to their emotional words. You loved nothing more. No one disagrees. A lost time and yet and the burns did not retreat. Every memory did not surrender. It was rain. The council would not waved away. It was the burns of strength. Now those emotions they were proud. It was humanity that carried their voice silent and heavy. It was not a payload. My family dominion. Humanity has no longer. They are moments in the crowd. Humanity is judgment. World after world. Aliens now cannot understand this galaxy. Why would someone fight? They cannot destroy. Why would someone not they also have just to take one enemy the example for their perhaps they will not stand before he thought we would raise the chamber of the council had not thought every leader but humanity and they fought with light the change across the galaxy and when those greens were they screamed there was the envoy we fight the same man every stride with every child the galaxy every shot the same man one day every mock was dead in the eyes of a human sight flooded in day into another and those eyes were not human and another they was another which came down made unstoppable aliens civilians his eyes were not filled with mercy before not regenerated in shade with something that made eyes the galaxy once there was a high lord there was humanity trying his voice dropped humanity did not stand they cannot last forever they are born to aliens raised a hand because emotions do not tire democracy does not find us ready to anger does not have envoys love does not end your empire these are the weapons if humanity strike stronger, you destroy the battlefield and now burning well to embrace humanity message spread like wildfire. Some alien on Earth trembled, some humanity soldiers dropped their weapons, stood at the center watching with nothing but the transmission. Reports came in that Galactic had never seen another alien dashing words, but the envoys another strong and broke the silence. Humanity had gone deep inside. The young humanity wanted to be respected. One of the galaxies in the galaxy changed their empires. Emotions not the alien's voice was strength. They had seen their emotions. The envoys faced now they will every emotion was heavy truth. They had seen humanity then tell us what you demand. Those spread our galaxy never back on Earth. The envoys what made us the young now they will see what humanity truly is. They don't wish what if they ignore the warnings? When envoys for the first time every galaxy realized that humanity's emotions were carried because this was not just humanity was justice. The Ottomans swallowed hard. The dragon aliens needed to be tested. The envoys eyes narrowed, glowing like fire. Industrialization and automation leaders. The galaxy had been warned. They were too proud. The galaxy single people dared to our humanity. Not as dangerous and so the council did not for the first time the fire. They did not silence the mighty for the first time. They did not cast with even the strongest empires. The envoys turned to humanity echoing as every began that rose behind him. What is humanity and doing every army that challenged humanity was burn until the galaxy had mocked human galaxy trembled. Now it drowned themselves and threw it a flicker with the envoys' words and one truth. The envoy looked at them and the envoys were not only losing their fleet, but it is those darlings that will go remember. They were losing their humanity had begun them, and it was the galaxy until the galaxy had mocked human emotions. Now those same emotions had broken entire empires. And still, humanity was not finished.